Hello, I'm going to give you a little introduction to Scratch. Scratch is a visual programming language made by the MIT Media Lab, and it's used by a lot of kids and adults all over the world for making games, animations, movies, and other interactive programs. The only thing you need to do to use it is go to their website, scratch.mit.edu. You can create an account there. It's completely free, and the accounts are pretty safe for children, although they recommend Scratch for children age 8 years old and older. Although there's no age limit, a lot of adults use it too. If you have younger children, there's also the Scratch Junior app, which you can use on an iPad. So anyway, there's that. You can create an account, go to the website. If you don't feel like creating an account, or you just want to try it on your computer without one, you can go down here, all the way down to the support links, and here just go to the offline editor link here, click it, download it, and you can run Scratch on your computer without an account. You can save the games locally. Later, if you create an account, you can upload your games there. That's a good way to try it. Anyway, let's get started. What can you do here? I'm going to click on the create link here, and now we're in the Scratch editor. By the way, right now it's August 2018. This is Scratch version 2. There's an upcoming new version of Scratch, Scratch 3.0. So maybe by the time you watch this video, your editor will look more like this. So it's been rearranged, but the concepts are the same. So whatever you learn now, you should be able to use in the new Scratch. Anyway, here we go. So when you start a new project, you have a blank background and you have a single sprite. Sprite is something that can move around, do things in the program. The sprite you have here is Scratchy the cat, and the stage is just white. First thing I'm going to show you is how to change the stage, the backdrop or background. You just go here, choose one of these options. I'm just gonna choose one backdrop from the library. You could also paint one yourself, or upload an image file, or even take a picture from your computer camera. By the way, Scratch currently can only be used on computers. I cannot use it on tablets, iPads, and whatnot. But that limitation is going to be lifted when Scratch 3.0 comes out. Anyway, let's keep going. So let's choose a new background. Click here. I'm just going to quickly select this blue sky, double click, and there you go. Simple as that. Now if you have your stage selected and you go to these tabs here, you'll see you can either be looking at the scripts for the stage, or the backdrops, or sounds. I'm not going to do sounds now. So here we have two backdrops. I'm going to select the original one, the white background, and just click here on the X to delete it. That's all I'm going to do here. Now let's select, left click on your sprite, and let me show you the kinds of things that you can do first. I'll show you how to add a new sprite. So just come here, same thing, you can choose one from the library. That's what I'm going to do. For this demonstration, I'm going to select the bat. It's bat number 1. So now we have the Scratchy the cat and a bat here. Now let's see, let's select the kitty cat. Let me show you how to change the name of the sprite. this one here. Just click on that blue circle with the eye. And here you have the name and other properties. I'm going to select this and type Scratchy. That's what I'm going to do with you now, Scratchy. So again, select the other sprite, bad. Let me show you. Go here to costumes, and here you have two costumes. So this sprite can look like this, or it could look like this. To make an animation, you basically switch from between one and the other. And let's do that. To make it do anything, you have to select the scripts or the code tab. That's what they're changing the name to. There's different kinds of scripts. Here, the blue ones, they're color coded. The motion scripts. Second set of scripts are the blocks are the looks. So here we can switch the costume. It's right here. You select the block from this panel here, just drag it over here. To make it do something, all you have to do is just click on the block. Like in this case, this one's switching the costume to bat1b. That's the second one. You can just make a copy of this, right click. Oh, that's funny. Because of that, I changed the size. This old version of Scratch doesn't like that very much. So anyway, let's just grab one from here. So one of these I'm gonna switch to A, the other one to B. Now, if you execute this block here, I'm gonna switch to A, and click on this, switch to B. Now we want to switch between one and the other. We don't want to do it one after the other quickly, because basically this is what happens if you put them together and you click on this. It's going to switch to one, and then the other you won't even see what happened there. You have to wait a little bit to be able to see the animation, and that's what we're going to do. A block in the control set of blocks here. The first one is a wait block. So grab one of these, drag it until it's attached here, then grab the other one, attach it here, click on the top, and this will make it switch to costume A, wait a little bit, and switch to costume B. And that is basically all you need to know to make an animation. You could have it a character walking or saying something or gesturing or whatever, and it just basically looks like this, switching costumes and waiting a little bit. Now let's do this a bunch of times. So first I'm going to grab another one of this. So it's going to switch to A, wait, switch to B, wait. And basically we want to do this a bunch of times, forever. There you go, we have a forever block here, and that's what we need. So if I grab it here, I can wrap it around my existing blocks, click on the top, there you go, and that is basically going to execute that sequence, switching from to A, wait, switching to B, wait, over and over again. Now we've been executing the blocks just by clicking on them. Normally when you have a program or game, you start it by clicking on the green flag, and you stop it by clicking on the red stop sign like this. To make something happen when you click on the green flag, you have to go to select this block here from events. The first one, when green flag clicked. So now if I click on the green flag, it's going to make my bat do the flapping animation over and over again. Perfect. Now stop that. So that's one thing. Now we can have a different set of blocks making the bat do something else. So let's grab another one of these. Now we're going to make it move from one side of the screen to the other. So for that, let's go to the motion blocks here, dark blue. We are going to choose the glide block here. This is the one we want. We also need the go-to block. Now let me show you the difference between these two. So go-to makes your sprite move to somewhere in the screen. So to use it, basically place your sprite where you want it to start, like say here. Now you saw the numbers change in the go-to block and the glide block. There's an X and Y number here. Those two numbers give you the position of your sprite. The X controls where it is. It's basically left and right. Y is up and down. You don't have to worry too much about the numbers if you just do it the way I'm showing you. Just move it here. The numbers will change. So what does that mean? Let me grab go-to block here, put it there. So now whenever I move my bat anywhere else, like say here, if I click on this go-to block, it's going to make it move to that position again. Second one, glide. So now let's move the bat to where we want it to go, which is basically all the way here. Now the numbers changed again. Now I can grab this one here, glide. So first I'm going to click on the go-to, make it go all the way there. Now click on glide, and that will make it move to that other position in 1 second. You can change this number if you want. Make it move slower, maybe let's say 2 seconds. Now notice if I click on this one now, it doesn't do anything because it's already there. You wanted to use these two together. So put them together, click on the top, goes to one side, glides to the other side. And now let's make it go back all the way to where it was. Now for that, actually, let me show you. I want it to go exactly to where it was at the beginning. So instead of moving it myself, I'm going to grab the glide block, put it here, and here I'm going to change the numbers to the numbers in the first go-to block. So I'm going to just directly type -175. The second one is 79. So that means I want it to go exactly to where it started. It would be hard to get that exact position just by dragging and dropping it there. So now if I click on the top, it's going to go there, glide to one side, and then glide back. Now you see the second glide is in 1 second, so that's a bit faster. I'm going to change it to 2, so both of them are 2, so it's going to glide to the right side 2 seconds, and back to the left side in 2 seconds. Now let's wrap that in let's go to control forever block again and put it here. Now when I click on the green flag, it should do both things at the same time. One set of one script makes it flap, and the other one moves it back and forth. The last thing I'm going to do with Mr. Bat here, let's make it face the other way. So let me show you how that's done. So sprites in Scratch, another thing you can do with them is you can rotate it. You can rotate them. There's two ways. For example, I can make it point in a direction. Let me show you what this is. So point in direction. If I click here, you see the directions are right, left, up and down. It's already facing right. Let's select left. Now notice something, it's rotating to the left, but it's basically upside down. There's two ways for sprites to rotate. Like if you just grab one of these, for example, the turn blocks, makes it turn 15 degrees, which is just turn a little bit. You click it a bunch of times, it's going to rotate like this, like a clock. Sometimes, like for this little animation, I only want the sprite to be facing either left or right. So what you do one of two things. You either go here to the sprite information panel and click on the rotation style and select, instead of the default round and round rotation, select the left and right rotation. So now basically if I try to turn it, it's not really going to turn. But when I say point in direction, say right, that's where it is. Say left, which is -9, it's another way of saying left. But now it's going to face that way. So basically it ignores all the other rotations, it only either goes left or right. So now let's use this pointing direction. So when we start, it's going to be facing to the right, and it's going to glide all the way to the right. And at that point, we want it to face the other way. So point in direction. Oh, this is wrong. Point in direction right first, move, glide, then point left, then glide to the other side. And basically it's going to be doing this over and over again. Now, I noticed something here. You could do this in a different way. Now let me show you. When you move blocks around, you have to drag one block, and when you drag it, everything that's attached below it will move with it. So if you want to reach the top one, you basically have to take everything else from below it, and then you can take it. Now this one, the go-to, I only want it to happen once at the beginning. That's why I'm moving it out, and then I'm putting this back. It takes a little bit to get used to how to manipulate the blocks, but you get used to it. So now what is this doing? It's going to start, going to that start position, and then face one way, glide all the way that way. Let's just make it do it. And the flapping is still going, so there you go. We have a bat flying back and forth. That's good. Now let's make something interactive. So kitty cat here, click, let's go back here, Sprite, go back, select Scratchy. Now Scratchy also has a couple of costumes. So let's do the same thing for him. Let's try to make it look like it's walking a little bit. It's not, these are not great costumes, but it's good enough for the example. So again, when you click on the green flag, it's the first block we want. Then we want a forever loop, because we wanted to just basically do it without stopping until we stop the whole game. Now we're going to switch costumes back and forth the same way we did with bat. So you go to looks, switch costumes. We have two costumes here, 1 and 2, simple. Switch to 1 again, and switch to 2. Again, we need the wait block here from control. Wait 1 second. Wait 1 second here. Now 1 second is way too long for an animation, so if we want something shorter than 1 second, you have to use decimal numbers. So instead of 1 second, I'm going to select here and say select wait 0.5 seconds. That's half a second. And again here, 0.5 seconds. Now let's see. If I click on the green flag, it's kind of walking. Now let's do something else. Let's stop this for a moment. So again, another green flag block, another forever loop. This is a very common pattern in Scratch. Now this forever loop, what we're going to do is we're going to check if you're pressing the left arrow or the right arrow, and depending on that, it's going to move one way or the other. So for that, you need an if block here. This basically says do this only if certain thing is happening. That certain thing is comes from the sensing blocks here, sensing, the light blue blocks. Grab the one that says key something pressed, put it right there, and select instead of space the right arrow. So this says if you're pressing the right arrow, then do something. The something that we want to do is go to motion blocks. We want this one, move 10 steps. Now what does this mean? Basically going to move 10 little pixels in whatever direction the sprite is facing. So first, let's make sure that it's actually facing right when you click on the right arrow. And again, we need the point in direction block like we did with the bat. point right, which is 90, which is the default. Put that here. And we do the same thing again, another if block, another sensing key press block. This time select the left arrow. So if you're pressing the left arrow, we actually wanted to do the opposite. We want it to face to the left and move a little bit. So for both of them it's the same. Move 10 steps, it's going to move in the direction it's facing. So let's see what happens now. Click on the green flag, Bat's doing its thing, Scratchy is doing his funny walk, and I'm going to press the right arrow and it moves all the way to the right. I'm going to press the left arrow. Now it's doing that funny rotation again. Just come here, or let me show you the second way of doing this. You can set the rotation style. That's one of the motion blocks here at the bottom. Set rotation style left, right. That's exactly what we want. We're going to put that one here. So at the beginning of the game, it's going to say this sprite only faces left or right. So click on the green flag again. Now press the right arrow, press the left arrow. That's it. So we have a little animation and we have an interactive animation here. And hopefully that gives you an idea of the kinds of things you can do with Scratch. This is just scratching the beginning. What did I want to say? Anyway, just scratching the surface, pun intended. There's plenty of other things you can do. And let me show you actually. Let's change the name of the project here to Scratch Intro. Click enter, and let's go back to the Scratch website by clicking here. So the best part of Scratch is the community. So here you have thousands of people making programs, games, animations of all sorts. If you click on explore here, you can find them here. It's all sorts, like I'm not going to click into any of this, but you can actually open any of them, and if you see something you like, you can remix it. So you open it, you change something, and then you save it as your own project. And the same thing can happen to any project you upload to the website and make public. First you have to decide to make it public. It's not going to automatically be available to everybody else. But once something is public, you can open it, you can change it and remix it. You can base your game or your animation on an existing game or animation. Just change a few things, maybe change the sprites, and so forth. And more importantly, you can look at their code and see how they did whatever they did. And this is how you learn. So that's it for today. I'm going to stop. Hopefully you could follow, and if not, don't worry. There's plenty of other Scratch tutorials out there, and I'm going to be uploading some more on my YouTube account. So that's it for today. Bye-bye.